But when you talk about the potential opportunity the Winning with CPAs brings to the table, as an advisor, I still can't think of a better opportunity or more exciting opportunity for somebody in practice today. And I guess what I'll share with you is the solution that I set up in my own practice and that we now help other advisors adopt into their practice as well. But when I set out to create CPA and referral relationships, my goal was really to insulate myself with a number of different professionals. I started out with 4 CPAs was my original goal. I found that I quickly did that, and then went on to work to surround myself with estate planning attorney, a mortgage broker, realtor, and there's really a number of different professionals you can work with. But I think what makes it work and what makes this solution so powerful is finding folks who are working with your ideal clients that have a relationship of trust established that will allow you to come in and, through the opportunity we provide them in Winning with CPAs, open up their practice to you and allow you to become the go-to retirement and financial advisor for their firm. And so for us, this was just a huge opportunity, because one of the things that I saw with all of the other marketing that I'd tried in the past is that many marketing programs, many marketing opportunities leave you having to reinvent the wheel every 30 or 45 days or write another check. Because for me, being a heavy seminar producer, I was always another check away from my sales pipeline being full again. And I would do a seminar and I would have 30 prospects, and maybe I would have 15 of those come in for appointments. And then once I was done with those folks and they had come through my appointment process and we gathered some assets and brought on some new clients, I realized I was back to square one. And that got very frustrating after 6 years of doing that. So what I realized is that if I could go out and I could set up these relationships and do it right the first time, that these relationships would feed me referrals for the rest of my career. And they have continued to do so over the last few years. And I think strategically is just such a much better approach. And as my grandfather used to tell me, work smarter, not harder. And so setting these relationships up at the beginning to feed me relationships, to feed me referrals to new clients ongoing every year, has just taken a huge load off and a huge stress load off of me in my practice. It's allowed me to be able to really focus on the clients that I'm working with, because I'm not constantly worried about where is my next client going to come from. And here's what's really exciting about this is, we talked about the opportunity of setting up these relationships, but let's just look at some simple math. Let's assume for just a minute that each strategic relationship that an advisor sets up represents 300 ideal prospects. And for me, in my practice, any CPA I bring on, they have to at least have that many prospects in their book of business. And what an ideal client for me is someone who is a client of that CPA's firm that is over the age of 50. So what I've found is 300 is a very conservative number. There's plenty of CPAs out there that'll have 500, 1,000, 1,500 clients in that demographic. But even let's just look at 300. Let's say you have 300 ideal prospects in a CPA's practice, and each of those has on average $150,000 of investable assets. That means that each new CPA relationship that you set up represents $45 million in new assets that, trust me, was not going to come to your direct mail seminar. That's part of the other 97% that don't respond to direct mail and other cold advertising. And so my goal when I started implementing these relationships in my practice was to bring aboard 4 quality CPAs. And by doing so, what I knew that would mean would be getting myself in front of $180 million in new assets. And so now that's the goal. Every advisor that I coach and that comes through our program with Winning with CPAs is to help them bring aboard those 4 quality CPAs as a start to say, look, if we can position you in front of $180 million of new assets, how much more business can you write? I mean, even if your appointment process, your closing ratio, even if it's low and it never gets better, just by increasing the volume, increasing the number of prospects that you're in front of, and the more quality prospects and on a basis of trust, is really transforming advisors' practices.